What's going on, everybody? Will Koopal, Functional Medicine here, located in Albany, Georgia, here inside of the wonderful Medicine Man's Corner. So today I wanted to hop on and talk about Chronic Inflammatory Response Syndrome, also known as CIRS. So I was recently certified as a Proficiency partner in this certification. I'm one of only 3 providers here in the state of Georgia who has this certification. So once you get certified, the founder of the program, Dr. Ritchie Shoemaker, calls you. So I spoke to Dr. Shoemaker Wednesday. We had a very great conversation about how he got into this and how he's treated over 7,000 patients and is seeing remarkable results. He has lots of studies and lots of papers about this subject. So we'll link the website below. It's called survivingmold.com. So mold usually is the #1 cause for CIRS. So if you've been exposed to mold or you're living in a moldy environment, let me know. We can get to the root cause of this. So it's not just mold though that can cause this. Fish toxin illness, Lyme disease, environmental toxins, any toxin or infection can cause this if you are susceptible. So Dr. Shoemaker, when he first started looking into all this, started his research, he was living near a river that was infected by toxic fish. He had a lot of fishermen coming to him with multi-system illnesses. So they were having depression, joint pain, fatigue, just symptoms that didn't quite make sense. A lot of them were having diarrhea. So an old school medication for diarrhea and cholesterol is cholestyramine. The way that medication works is it binds up toxins and gets rid of them. So what is CIRS? So once again, CIRS is Chronic Inflammatory Response Syndrome. It is a multi-system illness that affects every system of your body. So a lot of people have depression, anxiety, visual changes, fatigue, joint aches and pain, difficulty breathing, gut dysfunction, kidney dysfunction. So once again, it affects every system in your body. So how does this happen? So in my last couple videos, I talked about the different parts of the immune system. So the 2 parts are the innate immune system, which is the first on call. So if you're exposed to environmental toxin, mold, any type of infection, the innate immune system will come in and it will attack the infection. If it can't resolve the infection, it will hand it off to the adaptive or the more specialized arm of the immune system. So people with CIRS, they have a genetic defect called the human leukocyte antigen. So basically the HLA, it helps with the handoff from the innate immune system to the adaptive immune system. So if you have a genetic defect and the handoff cannot take place and resolve the infection, then you're stuck over here in the innate immune system and inflammation just builds and builds and builds, and it starts affecting every system of your body. So basically the workup is make an appointment. I'll send you loads of paperwork. One of the questionnaires I ask everyone is the CIRS questionnaire. So it's a questionnaire that asks for 8 out of 13 symptom clusters. So if you answer yes to 8 out of the 13 symptom clusters, then that is a failed screening and more needs to be done. The second part of the workup is a visual contrast study. So this is a simple test. I send you the link. You do it on the computer. So you're looking at the visual acuity of a shape and then you match it to a separate one. So you're testing both eyes. You'll cover your right eye, test your left eye, and then you'll do the same thing for your other eye. So once you do this test, it spits out an algorithm, tells us if you passed or failed. It also has questions about your symptoms once again and your exposure to these toxins. All right, so if you failed the questionnaire, you failed the visual contrast study, the next thing, and you have to do these in order, the third part of the workup is a whole bunch of labs. So most of my patients luckily do have insurance, so I can utilize that at LabCorp and Quest. So one of the main labs I'm testing is that human leukocyte antigen. So if you have the genetic defect, and you failed the visual contrast study and the questionnaire, we're looking at other labs that are points in your immune system. So if these labs show the pattern of CIRS, the history matches up, the visual contrast study is off, then we make the diagnosis of CIRS. So once we have the diagnosis, there's a 12-step protocol that can rid your body of these toxins. The first and very most important step is removal from the environment. So if you're currently living in a moldy environment, then number one, we got to get you out of that environment, or we got to remediate your house. So I have resources for tests where we can test for mold in your house. You don't want to just get any old tests, because mold is ubiquitous and it's in the environment always. We're constantly breathing in a little bit of mold, but if you have a lot and you're constantly inhaling that, it's getting into your system. Then that innate system is coming in, trying to take hold of it, pass it off to the adaptive immune system to resolve it. But for those with CIRS, you can't quite pass it off. So the first step, once again, removal from the environment. And then the second step is we put you on binders. So once again, the binders are cholestyramine, which is an old school cholesterol medication. And then there's another one called Welchol, which is very similar. So I've been working with a few patients who have had great results with this. I saw a girl just last week. She's been on the binders for a month. You know, her history and her labs pointed us towards CIRS, and 50% of her symptoms have resolved. So this girl, because she's had so many symptoms, every organ in her body has been affected. She's been to about every specialist you can think of, and she came in with a bag full of medications. And the root cause is this chronic inflammation due to her genetic susceptibility to reacting poorly to the mold. She was living in a moldy environment, and then since then, she's had problems. So basically, if you or any of your loved ones have been diagnosed with nonspecific illnesses, you've been to lots of specialists, you're not quite getting the answers you need, come and see me, make an appointment online. Like I said, I'm one of the only 3 providers here in the state of Georgia who has this certification. Once I was certified, I was put into the certification group. So there are lots of great minds in this group. We're constantly asking questions. We're constantly sharing knowledge. What is working, what's not working, how to tweak things. So if you like what you heard, or you or your loved one is sick, not getting answers, getting the runaround from traditional medicine, come and see me. Let's sit down. Let's figure out what's going on. That is my passion in life, is to get to the root cause of your problem and get you feeling better. So I want you to be a better husband, wife, son, daughter, member of your community, so we can go forth and do what God has called us to do, right? So thank you very much. Hope everyone has a good day, and I'll be seeing you soon.